Okay, I'm back. This video is by request. Apparently some people have not looked at some of my older videos, and so I need to do a new one. That's okay. I've kind of changed things up a little bit in my grow, just slightly. What I've done is I've decided to completely go over to age-old organics instead of fucking monkeying around with all these other different all these different nutrient companies, except for certain products. Okay, for my base and my organic tea, stuff like that, I'm going with age-old organics. So what I do here, normally I buy it in the quart bottle, but now that I bump up the size of my grow, actually it's still cheap enough to buy like this, but I'm not sure you can buy. I don't think I can buy it by the half gallon. It's either by the quart or by the gallon. But this stuff, even the grow, let's see, all of these products by age old, even their calcium, which I don't use indoors. I've tried. This was something I was going to use to replace CalMag, and it's not going to work. This is more for an outdoor application, so that's getting used outdoors. So that's an age-old organics. That's their calcium application, or calcium for gardening, you know. But what I'm using now is my basis is the age-old organics Bloom and Grow. Now in the grow right now, I don't get over 10 milliliters to the gallon because this stuff is strong. Especially when you're adding all your other stuff to it, you don't want it to be real strong. But I never get over 10 milliliters to the gallon with the stuff unless you got something that will take it, because it's 12.66. The nitrogen's pretty high on this. So when I'm doing clones and small cuttings and stuff like that, I do 2.5 to 5 mils to the gallon, and I keep with that in the veg until it looks like they're starting to, you know, where it looks like they're starting to maybe get a little bit yellow. Could use a little nitrogen, and I bump it up. Usually I can go straight up to 10 mils to a gallon, and then that's all the further I can go with it, or that's all the further the plants will go before they go into flower. So 10 mils to the gallon max on this age-old organics grow. And then of course you feed and water as well. Of course in veg I do not feed all the time, or I don't feed this all the time. It's just like every other watering or every third watering when it looks like it could use some food. That's just something you have to gauge with your plants. So Bloom, same thing. Actually, Bloom, when they get into about week 3, week 4, I can bump this up to full strength, which is at 15 mils to the gallon. This is also a 5, 10, 15 mils to the gallon concentration on the Bloom. It's a 5, 10, 5. This stuff is really good. As you can see, get it at Polino Gardens. It's $10.99 a quart. You can't say that for all the others. All the others out there are a lot more expensive than the age-old grows, same thing, $10.99 a quart. Also some kelp for some macronutrients, $10.99 a quart. We all know what kelp is good for. I mean, it's good all around for veg and flower. So I use that both in veg and flower. 5 to 10 mils to the gallon, depending on you want to watch your ppms when you start adding stuff like this, especially with this particular line. Your ppms go up real fast, especially when you crank over to this one here. If you want to put some humus in there, or humic acid in there, this is super strong. Be careful with it. I've decided not to use this indoors because it is so strong. This is going to go to outdoor along with that calcium out there. I get some really crappy soil and needs built up. So what I've been using indoors for my basically my what do you call it? Liquid compost is this right here. It's Campo Verde Promote. You got to watch it on this because it's got a 4% nitrogen on it, but it only has it has no phosphates and only 1% potash, humic acid 4%, alkaloid block polymer is 20%. What's it here? It's a 2% or 0.2% manganese. Yeah, manganese and 0.5% iron. But it's good for, and it's, of course it's got the carbon and all that. It's got the humic acids and all that stuff in it. So this is basically like liquid karma. Okay, kind of like liquid karma, but watch it because of the nitrogen in that. But that's Campo Verde Promote. Okay, and that also is. I wanted to try some of this. I forgot to see what the price on that was, but I read something about it someplace and I wanted to try it, and it's been working great. But if you so whatever the price is on that, but I've been using that in place of liquid karma in veg or using them in conjunction. But it's strong. You got to watch it. These organics seem to be stronger than the like this here, this big swell. This is what's left over from my last grow on my flowering booster. So I've been trying to use that up. But normally I use the Roots Organics HPK or HP2. They're batshit. That's what I use for my, and I only use 5 to 10 mils again, because when you're mixing all this stuff in there, everything works in conjunction with each other, so you don't have to use such high concentrations. But the recommended dosage on this is 15 mils of the gallon. Only in the last couple of weeks can you go that high. Actually, from about half the way. So about week 4 or 5, then you start bumping up to 15 mils, but that's a little strong. Because of course the bloom over here already has 5%. This is only 9%. But anyway, you get the idea. So that's what I'm using there. Of course, CalMag, my water is super clean. Cannot do without this now. Even if I'm doing just a plain water, I cannot go without CalMag. My parts per million are like 40 to 50 in my water. My water is really super clean. And if I water my plants with just straight chlorinated and oxygenated water, oh, by the way, I got a for watering flower, because bucket's a bitch. Okay, so, and this one here is empty right now. I'm letting it air out. It got kind of funky in there, and I'm kind of cleaning it out. So anyway, the dechlorinated and oxygenated, oxygenated water still, because the parts per million is so low, I still need to put CalMag in the water no matter what. So, and then again, I still got some liquid karma. I like this for my vegging plants, basically for clones. I like liquid karma. That's what I'm keeping it around for. Like I said, I switched it to promote for the larger plants, but I'm using this for the clones because it doesn't have a whole lot of nitrogen in it, but gives them a little bit. Okay, so that's why I'm using this. I could be using some of this kelp. I use the kelp also for foliar feeding. I put like about, I think it's 5 mils to the gallon of water for that, and I'll mix up 1 gallon of foliar feed, or man, was it 10? 10, I think, is what I used last time. 10 mils to the gallon on basically RO water. Then of course with a CalMag, and I have to because the water's so clean, that kind of thing. But that's how I foliar feed. Oh, and then I put when I do foliar feed, and I'll also use a wetting agent, which we need to come to as well anyway. I'm using up what's left of this Humboldt sticky that I had. It worked great. This was recommended to me, and I found out this also works on some of your soil-borne pests. This is like a preventative. It just says it's a root system foliar spray. So what I use it for is it's basically just a wetting agent. So I use it for a wetting agent, both in my cocoa and for foliar feeding. So if it works as to help prevent on bugs, great. It's just a side benefit that I wasn't counting on. I was just looking for a good jug of wetting agent. This is okay, but I got to add too much. This is only 2 to 3 mils to the gallon, and this is like 10 or 15 to the gallon or something like that. It was like really high. It's like, yeah, here is it's half to 1 ounce. That's like 1 to 2 tablespoons to the gallon. I'm like, youch. That's a lot of wetting agent. This is only 2 to 3 milliliters per gallon, and it works real well. It smells good. Worked great. Then of course, yeah, Roots Accelerator for the clones. Super Thrive. You know, I use all this. This is stuff for cloning, except for when you get back into flower again. Oh, and then Hygrozyme. I'm kind of scatterbrained on this a little bit, you guys. It's I just been going through and doing so much and trying to get things so straightened out and sticking to a regime that I like and I get real good results with. And that's what you're seeing. It's just kind of hodgepodge. I kind of throw things up here when I get done. I never really keep anything in any kind of an order, but that's just me. Okay. Then my Humboldt honey, hydrocarbs. I use the hydrocarbs as a simple feeding in veg. Okay, in veg and early. Well, like say if they're in clone, they look like they need some food with the beneficials. So I'll feed them. I'll put a little bit of that in there. This is basically what I use for feeding beneficials at the lower levels or the earlier stages of growth. Okay, when I get heavy into pumping the sugars to them, Humboldt honey ES. ES meaning extra strong. Now, I tried sweet last time and I wasn't real impressed. As a matter of fact, the bottle of sweet that I had that was left over, it actually went bad. So I'm not real impressed, and I'm just going to stick with the Humboldt honey for right now. But Oh, and then of course, if I get into a CalMag deficiency problem with the plants, I've been using some Revive. It helped, but it didn't do nowhere near as good a job as, guess what? CalMag Plus. CalMag Plus literally is that. This is better than this. Read the ingredients on the label. Okay, now this has got 2% nitrogen. This has got 1% nitrogen. Okay? Now, what happens if you use 1 teaspoon of this, 5 mils, versus 10 mils of this? This is cheaper than this. If I only have to use 5 mils of this, and this is cheaper than this, I'm saving money using that. Anyway, so I'll be using this up. And actually, like I said, this CalMag Plus is actually, this has got iron in it. This is the only thing that this has in it that doesn't have in it is iron. You know what? I can go down and buy fucking iron and add. And the real cheap shit, too. Because iron's nothing. Iron's really super cheap. But there you go. And, of course, I got some Scentsy Bloom. I was trying some stuff out. So what I'm doing now is I'm just saving the Scentsy Bloom A and B for cloning. Okay. Then, off to beneficials, mycorrhizas. Okay. This, as you can see, is $22 for a 1 pound bag of soluble. This is a water soluble mycorrhizae by Age Old. But I also like, and I'm going to get some more of this because I really like it, is this Myco Madness. So I use them together. Water soluble, because at $22 for a pound, this stuff goes a damn sight farther than this stuff. Okay. This is only 2 ounces at roughly $22. This is 16 ounces at $22. So even though I have to use 1 teaspoon of this versus half a teaspoon of this still goes like 4 times further than this for the money. But so I just use them together because this is just mycorrhizae. It doesn't say about ecto and I think it says ecto and endo both are in it if you go out to the website. But this here tells you exactly what's in it. So this was just cheap and I needed to get some more. So I need to go somewhere, and this is, I think when I buy this is like $27. This is $22. Anyway, try to save a few bucks, that kind of thing, but I still like this product, so I'm going to get some more of this. I haven't been disappointed with this one yet, so if it's going to do the trick for the price, it's 100% organic, all that kind of stuff, I'll stay with it and go ahead and add these both as those, because like I said, I really like that one, and it does a good job, and that's just so I can add more. But they do have a... not just a water soluble, they have the granular kind that you can put in your soil. You can use this in your soil too if you want to. But the water soluble kind of is like instant, where the granular is kind of like a slow time release kind of idea. If I'm not mistaken, that's how that works. Then, of course, I still have my little bottle back here of CalMag Plus from General Organics. The plus in this is actually molasses, if anybody would like to know. I started using this in the beginning and realized that this CalMag Plus wasn't what I needed. That's what I needed. I didn't need the molasses. I needed what was in here. So I just keep this around in case I want to CalMag something and I don't want to add any nitrogen. So I keep it around. And it hasn't gone bad. I mean, I've had that for over a year. So that's what I kind of like about it. So basically, there's my lineup. Age-old organic line is where I'm sticking at, except for a few items that I've started using them and have learned to trust. Oh, and can't forget Hydrozyme. That's a bad boy. This is probably like my 4th quart of stuff I've gone through since I started growing. This stuff is great. I got a whole tub of used dirt. There's probably, I know there's at least 2 cocoa bricks worth of cocoa in that bin. It's used. Roots and everything, and I just dumped down, I think I put like about 4 gallons of water in it with a bunch of Hydrozyme in it. No more roots, all cleaned up, ready to go. That stuff is all ready to go for next round. So yeah, you can clean up your soil just using this stuff right here. It's fantastic. I love it. Then of course, Roots Accelerator. Oop, that's empty. I got to get some more. I've been running out of stuff. Not good. Okay. Also, I use that sometimes. Go Gnats. I was using that because I couldn't find nematodes. Well, this last year I was able to get my hands on nematodes, and if I have a problem this year with gnats again, I will go down and get some nematodes again, and I will show you guys how to put them in your soil. I was a bonehead and didn't do it last year, or last grow. I got some nematodes and got them in there, and I just didn't videotape it. Sorry, guys. But I will. If that happens this time, I will do it this time. And But there you have it. That is my lineup. It's fairly simple. It's not all about throwing all kinds of shit at my plants. It's all more about trying to replace some of the main ingredients that they would get if they were in dirt. So basically, like your base, your macronutrients, and flour. So you need your macronutrients, and then a compost tea to make it all work. Then occasionally, okay, and then if they're in flour, the boosters. We all know about the boosters. They say you don't need them. I think those of you out there that sit there and say we don't need those, it's all a matter of personal preference now. If you like the boosters and you've seen a result from using them, use them. Who cares what the frickin' haters say? I don't know if I'm actually getting any benefits from them. I've been noticing more from the last grow and this grow here. The biggest problem I've been having is lack of proper light. And every time I step things up with my light, I see a big difference. So is it in my nutrients? I don't know. But I do like the and ppms. Okay? If it's in veg, I try to keep the ppms at 750, 800, like that, or below. Okay? I don't want to go up to 1,000 or higher because I just don't want to burn. Nitrogen is bad. It burns real easy, especially cannabis. I've seen what it does to vegetables. You got to watch what it does to cannabis, and I burn with cannabis. It's real easy to do. In flour, I start off at less than 1,000 ppms, and I work my way up. I'm getting ready to go into week 3. The last feeding I gave was 1,250, 1,260 ppms, and pH of about 6.2, 6.0, somewhere in that range. And the plants loved it, especially the banana kush. But the plants and the flower, they're taking off big time, and I really, I'm just trying to, but you got it, But this is what I'm using now. There you go. For those, if anybody has any questions on any of these newts, give me a call. Where can you get Age Old? That's a question I've been asked too. Now here in Colorado, I know you can get it at Polino Gardens. In Denver, that's in northern Denver, off of 58th Avenue and I-25. Some of the grow stores actually carry this brand. WeGrow. The WeGrow stores, there's one in Denver it's over by Polino Gardens on the other side of the highway. They carry Age Old Organics. As a matter of fact, that's where I was at when I picked up my mycorrhizae this last time. I like to go there. There's a WeGrow over in Boulder, and there's another one up in Fort Collins. And they all carry this. Now, also the Flower Bin in Longmont carries this line. But those are the only places I know of that I know of for sure carry the line. I'm trying to get my local grow shop to carry it, but I don't think he can. So I'm kind of stuck with getting it wherever I can. So, but I go to him for other things because he does carry Botanicare and Soul Synthetics and some of these other stuff that I do get. But like I said, he carries Roots Organics. That's definitely one he carries. So I can get most of my stuff through him, but not everything. So. Anyway, if you, they do have a website, ageoldorganics.com. You can go out and check them out. It talks about all their stuff out there. Anyway, that ought to do ya. That's what I'm using now. Take care. Stay high. And one other. I've started a new slogan now. I think some of you might appreciate this because of everything that's been going on right now. Create peace. Cultivate cannabis. Take care. Stay high.